So guys, PC here, and Apple just dropped their M4 MacBook Pros, and there's a lot to unpack. Okay, so today I'm going to be breaking down what's new, what's exciting, and what still kind of sucks. And of course, I'll let you know which is worth your cash. And yeah, so without further ado, let's dive in. Okay, so if you want to talk about the specs, the 14-inch MacBook Pro now has a number of CPU options. So the base M4 comes with 10 cores, the M4 Pro chips has 12 or 14 cores, and the Max chips with 14 or 16 cores. The 16-inch model skips the lowest in M4, and if I want to talk about the best news ever, that is going to be that Apple is finally ditching the 8 gig RAM models. Now, they're finally accepting that 8 gigs is just not enough, and now all the base models start with 16 gigs. And then for Max models can go all the way up to 128 gigs. Now, it's just one step ahead. It's just the evolutionary right thing to do. And what that means is that there's no more ridiculous upsells for just a decent amount of memory. Now, Apple's also fixed a big memory bandwidth problem as well. Now, all the M4 chips are now faster, and which especially is important since MacBooks share memory between the CPU and the GPU. The base M4 starts at 120 gigs per second. The M4 Pro goes all the way up to 273 gigabits per second, and then for Max maxes out at 546 gigabits per second. Now, as for the processors, the M4 itself has 2 efficient cores, and the M4 Pro brings back more performance cores. Long story short, the M4 Pro models should be faster across the board, especially compared to last year's M3. Plus, both the M4 Pros get 2 extra cores of GPU for some nice graphical performance. Okay, if I want to talk about the batteries now, the batteries had a slight bump. The 14-inch model gets a bit more capacity, but the important bit is that the 16-inch gets all the way up to 100 watt-hours. The Apple is still killing it with efficiency compared to Intel and AMD laptops, which is a story that I believe everybody knows, but you might want to fact check me on that because I did not do that. Okay, now let's talk about the shiny stuff. The M4 MacBook Pro now has 3 USB-C ports, and the Pro and the Max models are getting Thunderbolt 5. Now, Thunderbolt 5 is a huge upgrade with up to 120 gigs per second and 240 watts of charging. Now, if I want to talk about the display is, it can go all the way up to 1000 nits of brightness for SDR content, and there's a nano texture option to cut down on glare, which is something that it's one of the setting factors, but the problem is you have to pay them $150 extra to get it. So I don't know if that's worth it. And if I want to talk about the camera, let's be honest, it's just going to be a FaceTime camera, right? So I don't think it's going to be a deal breaker for anyone, but it is 12 megapixels if you care about it. Okay, now let's talk about what is disappointing. The notch is still there and it's still chunky. They could have done a better job at designing it in some other way, but it's still there. Now, the starting storage is 512 gigs in many models. Like, seriously, if I'm paying like thousands of pounds, I want better, okay? And so if you're someone who wants to do video editing, there are no extra media engines on there for M4 Pro. They're still stuck with Wi-Fi 6E instead of Wi-Fi 7. So yeah, these are the bad stuff. Okay, so which one should you get? Now, if you're a student or light user, the 14-inch with the base M4 is a solid pick this year. Now, if you're a programmer or an audiophile, I'd say the 14-inch M4 Pro has the right balance of power and memory. Now, if you're someone who's a video editor, I'd say go for the 16-inch M4 Max, and it's got media engines and the memory bandwidth that you might appreciate. And if you're a 3D artist or doing AI work, the top-end M4 Max 16-inch is where I think you should be. Now, if you're someone who's already rocking an M2 or an M3, I think you might want to skip this one because it's not a huge leap, and yeah, just be smart with your money. So yeah, that's been it, guys. Thanks for being here, and have a brilliant day today. Bye.